So you've got your visa to the United States. The visa is in your passport, whether it's a tourist visa or work visa. You're inside the United States, and guess what? You lose your passport, you lose your wallet, you lose your bag, and then the visa is gone. There are certain procedures you have to follow if you lose your passport with your US visa in it. This is a very common question that we get asked by our own clients, also viewers of this YouTube channel. No matter where you're from in the world, if you come to the United States with a foreign passport and you have a US visa in this passport and you lose this passport, you need to know what to do when that happens. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Immigration Channel. This is where we explain complex immigration matters in short, simple videos. In this video, we'll talk about what to do if you lose your passport, if you lose your foreign passport with a US visa in it. Most common is tourist visas, work visas. People come to the United States, they travel, maybe somebody steals your documents. If you lose that passport with your US visa in it, there are certain procedures you have to follow to make sure you don't get into trouble and it won't impact your future visas into the United States. So before we go into all the steps, if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show this video to more people just like you. As always, if you need help with your immigration matter, all you have to do is send me a text, 619-483-4549. I'm here for you. So as you know, passports and very important documents get lost every day. It's just the reality. But what do you do when your foreign passport get lost with an actual US visa in it? Most of these visas are granted for multiple years. For example, tourist visas are usually issued for 10 years. Work visas are anywhere from 3 to 5 years. What that means is that when you get a visa in your passport for that long, that means that you don't have to go back to the embassy every time you visit the United States to be able to enter. That visa is there for many, many years. So every time you come to the United States, you don't have to go back to the US embassy upon your exit. It doesn't mean that you can stay in the United States for all this time. It just means that you don't have to go through the hassle of applying for the visa every single year. So the first step that you do if you discover that your passport is lost or stolen is file a police report with the local police station. The police report is an essential document because you're going to need that when you reapply for your visa at the US embassy in the future. If you don't have a police report, it's going to be very difficult to apply for the visa. Now again, not in every case you're going to need a police report, not in every case your documents are stolen, but if it happens, make sure you file the police report. Once you have that report, you need to apply for a new passport with your local embassy or consulate. Remember, every country has different procedures how to apply for a new passport, but you're going to need that new passport. So when you apply for the new visa in the future, you'll have proof that you applied for a new passport at the time of the loss or theft of your original passport. Now, once you report this to your country or consulate, your embassy, and start getting a new passport, the next step is that you have to notify the US government. You have to notify a US consulate if you're still overseas, or if you are in the United States, you have to notify the State Department. Now, if you're overseas and you lose your passport, you have to notify the US Embassy or consulate in your country as to the fact that your passport or document was lost, because the reason it's important, if there's going to be a misuse, if somebody's going to use your document to commit a crime or try to apply for a benefit, if you're not going to report this, most likely they'll be trying to connect that with you, but as soon as you report that, that document will become invalid. The best way to do so is to email the consulate and embassy. Make sure you keep a copy of your passport, so you have the copy of your passport and the visa number, so when you email the embassy, you'll be able to give them that information, your passport number and the visa number that was issued to you, whether it's a tourist visa or a work visa. Once you notify the embassy of a lost or stolen passport with your visa in it, they will immediately nullify this visa, so nobody's going to be able to use it to commit any frauds or enter the United States unlawfully. It happens after you report your visa lost or stolen, and then you find your passport after a few months. What's going to happen is that you're not going to be able to use this visa anymore. Once you report the visa lost or stolen, it will be automatically canceled, and you're going to have to apply for a new one. Now, what happens if you're inside the United States? So for example, let's say you're in the United States, you went to a bar, you lost your documents, and now you don't have a passport or a US visa to prove that you're here legally. What's going to happen is that, again, you go through the same process, you get a new passport from your own country, consulate, and then you notify the State Department that your visa is lost and the visa is going to become invalid. And then what you're going to do is remember that once you're inside the United States, you don't actually need a visa. All you have is your status, your I-94. So your I-94 is not going to be impacted by it because it's an online form. It's still going to be valid even if your passport is lost. What's going to happen is that the first time you're going to leave the United States, you're going to have to go and make an appointment at a U.S. embassy to get a new visa. And at that point, you're going to have to show the police report, if applicable, any documents to show that you reported this when it happened. So the process of getting a new visa is going to be much easier. Now remember guys, it's summertime, people travel, things get lost. It's very important to be proactive, act as soon as possible to notify your own country so you can get a new passport right away, and also the State Department as to the fact that you lost the visa, that you either came to the United States or you're traveling abroad with your visa. Hopefully this information is helpful. We get a lot of questions about asking what to do when you lose your foreign passport with a US visa in it. Some people think they can just mail the foreign passport, the new passport, and get an automatic visa renewed. No, you still have to make an appointment. You still have to explain to the consular officer what happened, and they'll make their decision whether you're going to be eligible to receive a new visa and new passport. It's not automatic that you'll get a new visa, and most likely you will, but just remember, it's not an automatic procedure. You have to convince the officer that you still meet the requirements of the visa that you're applying for, just like you did when you first applied for it. Hopefully this information is helpful. Once again, if you need help with your immigration matter, please send me a text, 619-483-4549. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.